Good morning, good morning, good morning. How's everyone doing? So much work, so little time. Workshop is getting closer and closer. Stress level is higher and higher. It's gonna be all good though. Hey, good morning, Kuru, Atsuki, Baba220. Oh yeah. I hope everything is fine with you guys. Hey, Orby. Morning. All right. Throw me some topics. Hey, Zelin. Good morning, sir. Or madam. I don't know, the six of you. Your gender. But let's get it on. Hey, Morphia. Good morning. So I had a look at one of the first episodes today from last year, the warm up. It was really quite good fun. Fun to see. I'm gonna do hopefully, if the topic is more kind of character oriented, the one that's getting picked today. I'm gonna try silhouette first and then painting in the silhouette. We'll see. So we got Poison in the Air, Centaur Archer, the Great One, Lurking Menace. All right, we got 4. We need 2 more. Then we're good to go. By the way, your donations are really appreciated. And I'm halfway. I found something I'm gonna invest in for the community, but we're halfway there. So hopefully at some point we're gonna get enough. All right, we got enough topics. Let's roll the dice, and it is number 6 today, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Slaver Bandit Leader. That's pretty cool. Slaver Bandit Leader. Slaver Bandit Leader by Zealin64, is it? Zealin64. Zealin64. Alright. Hey, Captain Jetlag. Hey, Eric. Good morning. Congratulations, Zealin. You got your first topic. Alright, so we can actually do silhouette-based drawing today. Pretty fun. So let's start with the silhouette. Slaver Bandit Leader. Slaver Bandit Leader. So for me, my mind went to kind of like Rage. You know that game. It's a little bit post-apocalyptic, weird-looking thing. Let's kind of focus on the pose. I saw him kind of hunched over of sorts. So let's go with that. Let's give him a crooked blade. A crooked blade. So as I was saying, I found what I'm going to invest in, the donations for the community here. I don't really want to announce it yet, but I got a good plan for what your lovely donations are going to go to. All in due time, you guys will know what the donation is. I already started. I just need more time, and when the time is ready, I'll inform you guys. So again, thank you for the donations. They're going to be put into good use at some point. All right. Hey, Kilrathi, good morning. So the steps of my painting. So what I'm doing now is I have the image in my head, and now I'm trying to add things that I know I'm gonna use later as I paint. You know, not only like what's a good silhouette, um, but also what things can be inside the silhouette and also outside the silhouette. So if you're just kind of constantly making decisions on the outside of the silhouette, it can be very noisy. So you gotta, like, what I'm thinking about now is where can I add noise, and where should I need to add calm parts, and also the calm parts in the silhouette doesn't need to be simple in value. You know, they can be the high contrast area, the simple shapes, while the busy silhouettes can be the calm in value difference. So what I'm doing now is just kind of like thinking about silhouette and that rhythm. And interesting shapes that goes over each other, so that I know I can paint things back, paint things in front, and so on. But it's all very like automatic at this point. You know, I don't want to be analyzing too much because it takes you out of the comfort zone. Like I talked about the other day about implicit and explicit mind states. It's good fun. I like sketching. I think this sketch technique is also quite fun when you just play around with silhouette first. Let's switch it one more step up. I always do value design last. Let's do that first. So now I'm kind of I'm not actually thinking about what should be skin, or what parts are where. I'm just kind of focusing on adding a good rhythm.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that this pale tone is going to be the skin tone, but I don't think actively what it is I'm painting at the moment. Just the rhythm. Because it's all down to what it reads like rather than what it actually is, because it doesn't exist in real life, right? It's something that I make up. So it's all down to rhythm, shapes leading into other shapes and things like that. Was there a donation? Hey, Morphia, thank you very much for the donation. Amazing. So now I'm even closer to the what I'm going to use the donations for. Fantastic. Thank you very much. So kind of you. And one old visitor that isn't visiting anymore. I don't know why, but she said that it's PayPal only on donations, which I should try to fix. I haven't had time because of the lecture, etc. Kuru, yeah, it's all about the rhythm of the silhouette, the rhythm of the shapes, and that's also external and internal shapes. So you can see now, for example, I'm not touching the silhouette anymore. I'm focusing on the rhythm of the internal silhouette and the shape of it. You know, at the moment now it's just a lot of lines. The intent is that my thinking, right, is that the skin parts are wrapped, while I'm later going to add the mechanical. Um, you know, now I'm just kind of placing the skin. Next, I'm gonna add the like metal pieces, and those shapes are gonna be different than the skin. Right now, the skin is just wrapped, right? And the metal piece is gonna be slightly different. Hey, Mean Machine, welcome. Hey, Coach Springer, you're back. Thank you. Welcome back. Glad to see you here. Coach Springer, yeah. Well, the thing with that silhouette is that it depends on your intent of the silhouette and if you have to do something specific. At the moment now, I mean, I know what I was gonna have to draw, right? So it's a slaver bandit leader, but the idea was also it was supposed to look like post-apocalyptic, right? So it leaves me room to just make shit up, and I can do whatever I want, and it doesn't need to be look in any specific way. One thing that I talk about in my character design lecture and also the CGMA class is that when you're doing thumbnails, like you don't need to care about what it is you're drawing. You should really stop thinking about that. Like here I need a belt. Here I need a shoulder pad. When you do think like that, what happens is that you start rationalizing and you start doing things that is in your comfort zone. And what you should try to do is focus on just making shapes and patterns that look good. And later on, when you add reason to it, it's going to be easier to understand what it is that you've actually drawn. But up to that point, you shouldn't really focus on anything specific other than just make cool shapes, right? At the moment now, I am not even thinking what the parts are. I'm just drawing shapes and patterns that look good together, and I'm not even worried that something needs to be something means specific. Like I'll make sense of it later as the image progresses. Zilin, what I use is a basic round brush, but it's set to full pressure, and the only change is size. The more I press, the more it goes to original size. That's the only. Um, that's the brush. I've set it up for these kind of hard value stuff. If you adding pressure, like you can add a shade, it's just gonna mess with you, and then you're gonna have a, like you want to start making light and shadow, and that's never a good thing. Yeah, Cold Springer, definitely way more graphic design. I'm not also keen on what I've done here, so I'm gonna have to go back and change it up a bit. It became too scattered and too repetitive. Um, I didn't like the shape of the things I added. Hey, Gaxix, welcome back. Glad to see you. Yeah, Zielen, exactly like an ink thing. Thanks, Gaxix. So we're almost halfway. Interesting, interesting. Let's see if I will have time to paint this. That would be cool. I probably need to stop thinking about making it perfect and just go with it if I'm gonna have time to paint it. I have this idea I want to explore to see how how easy it is to paint something like this. And one of the things I want to try is the way I use light. You know, when I have a colored background and start using light, I want to see if it's possible to kind of do that at the same time. I don't know. Kuru, yeah, exactly. Some secondary material that will help boost the shapes and just kind of alter the rhythm of the design. I'm not too worried about what material it is because that doesn't matter at this point. I just want to have some cool shapes, some altered rhythm, and that's the only thing I'm looking at the moment. I'm not care so much of what it is. The Bjorn Meat Machine. Happy little creatures from hell. Yeah, nice. Hey, Sayart. Right. Let's see here. Okay, let's start the experimentation here. Let's see if we can't like paint with light. This is not gonna go good. This will not end well. But screw it. Let's go. I don't know. I have no idea how this will end. But maybe it'll be something interesting. I mean, at the moment now, it looks horrible. But I'm hoping that it won't. How much time do we have? 13 minutes. I know it's gonna probably be the worst decision I've ever made. But screw it. You gotta experiment, right? The problem that this decision to paint it makes is that now I have to start thinking about volume and material and shadows and making sense of everything, and I doubt that I have the time to do it. But I wanted to try to see, is there a possibility to kind of just lean on what's there?
All right.
I probably need to do it in a smarter way than what I'm doing now. But it's okay. I put it on an overlay. Top light. Yeah. Hey, Morphia. Sayard, Lawbreakers. No, oh yeah, Lawbreakers is way more sci-fi than this. But yeah, man, this process now is deep waters. I have no idea what I'm doing really. We'll see. I'll try to make it work. It does interesting things. I'm not sure about how clean the solution is, but by spending 2 minutes so far only on the actual light, within 2 minutes, there's been pretty good statements when it comes to the design already been made, but also not that many good statements. But I think I'm onto something though. Don't know what yet. So what I wanted to do initially, my idea was, I kind of messed up as I started painting the different values of the design. I wanted them on separate layers so that I could easily select the skin, easily select the metal, easily select, But I messed up and I didn't have time to, or I didn't want to go back and change, repaint. So at the moment, from the very beginning, one of the ideas was to be able to have clean selections, but that is kind of ruined at the moment. But if I do this and switch that off, let's do a quick just kind of selections. Okay. Okay, now at least I can like select that. Okay, that's pretty cool. So now I can put some more effort into the actual shapes rather than just tackling the whole value or the whole character as a whole with that light. Now I can actually go in on each segment, each groupation of information there, and kind of start trying to make a little bit more sense of it, I guess. Oh my god, this is horrible. This is like a slow car crash. But I do think I kind of like the idea. What it's good for, I have no idea yet. But experimentation and testing and trying things, I think, is okay. Better than being afraid. Cold Springer. It's either way for me. I don't really care about, well, stylistically, like what I prefer to do. Why is it like that? Oh, I don't know. I know why. It's shitty selections. I like to draw any. Nope, that was wrong. Any style. I don't care. I worked on realistic games. I worked on stylized games. Like my comfort zone is stylized, though. That's what I like personally. But like if I go to comfort zone, it's realism or stylized realism. Like where I like the idea of being able to boost stuff that you want to have point out rather than it has to all sit in realism. You know, it's in a neat little pocket. Mean Machine. Speed is important, but is only important to a certain degree. If you're in a tight schedule, sure. But when it comes to concept art for games, etc., the idea is way more important than how fast you can do it. I mean, if you can do both, and if the speed is at a rate where you're not getting a heart attack, you know, that's great. But the faster you are, of course, in a way, it's better. But you should never work too hard, you know, so that you get a heart attack or have issues with stress. But pushing yourself to be working smart and actively is good, you know, rather than just slouching and not applying yourself. Usually what happens that if you work fast, you're engaged and excited about the idea, right? Rather than the other way around. So where are we with time? 4 minutes all of a sudden. What the? Okay. Where did those 10 minutes go? I don't know what's happening here. But it's okay. A fakers left not. Ah, thanks, Caxix. I don't know if this is good or not, but it's a good fun test. I'm not super keen on the way it looks. For my personal taste, I thought I would be able to do it differently. But I think the biggest issue was I was kind of muddying the water from the beginning by messing up some of the layers, and then doing the painting. I think what I gotta do next time, if I do this test next time, is like I put a gradient on in the beginning. I think that gradient kind of shot myself in the foot a little bit. I think if I would have started with light first, like the other sketching technique, it might have, obviously it wouldn't not look the same. I lost a lot of the rhythm of the value design in my process of my chaos. So that was kind of boring, or a shame, really. So somehow I think what would be best is to maybe not paint with colors first. I don't know. One minute left. Oh no. Mixed feelings of this result, but it was a good thing to explore. At least I know what to do and what not to do in a similar situation. I mean, one thing that's good is that he's all on a separate layer. One thing that's not so good is the mess that I created. But oh well, maybe it's too much of an tall order for 30 minutes. But I mean, if I would have 30 minutes more, but nah, this process isn't streamlined enough. It is what it is. Right, time's up. Mean machine, yeah. Fakers left. Have no idea, really. Sorry. Let's add some nasty yellow as well. And let's put that in the, like that range. Let's erase some of that over there. All right. That's it. Thanks, Gaxix. One last little cheat change. A color dodge at the top. You gotta do it. Top light. Get that top light. It's important. I don't like the red though. I'm gonna change the color of that red. Oh, I actually liked it. Alright. Can't mess around anymore. Alright, thanks everyone for coming. Have a fantastic day. Good night. See you all tomorrow morning. Here comes the outro. Robot outro. Actually, no, the same one.